Details. At around 6:30 p.m. Friday, officers with the Bishop Police Department arrested 41-year-old Douglas Zilakowski of Victoria on charges of indecent assault. It happened in the 100 block of Badger Lane. Officers investigated reports that a man inappropriately touched a child at a school-sponsored athletic event. Officers made contact with a witness and the victim, and the suspect was apprehended a short time later. The man was placed under arrest on scene without incident and later transported to the Nueces County Jail on charges of indecent assault. The investigation still continues. Now, 4 Victorians want to serve as state representative in District 30. This week, we're looking into the candidates and introducing you to them. 25 News Now anchor Don Brubaker joins us now with Republican primary candidate Vanessa Hicks Callaway. Don.
Thank you, Karina. Welcome. Great to have you.
Thanks,
Tell me, the first question I have for you, this is your second time running for this particular seat, but it's the first time you're not running against the longtime incumbent. So how different is this campaign?
Well, this is different, and I want to thank you for allowing me to be on the show.
Sure.
But it's different because now, no kidding, the voters must choose a new representative. And so that in and of itself tells me that I've got a shot at this. So that is the biggest difference. It is indeed an open seat.
What's it been like on the campaign?
The campaign trail has been very exciting. I have some wonderful volunteers that have been working alongside me. And so our message, of course, is to let people know that I believe that I am the right choice at the right time for the right future for Texas District 30. I am pro-God, I am pro-life. I am working really hard to let the voters know that if they're looking for a conservative Republican candidate, they can find that in me. I'm also one that is working very hard to let the voters know that I believe in Operation Lone Star. I'm a 2-time governor appointee. He appointed me to the Texas Medical Board and also to the Texas Cardiovascular Disease and Stroke Prevention Board. So I've worked somewhat with Governor Abbott before, although abstractly, but still I am a governor appointee. The only reason I relinquished those seats was to run for office in 2020. But I'm saying all that to say that I look forward to an opportunity to work alongside Governor Abbott to support and to push Texas Operation Lone Star so that we can get control of the southern border. Additionally, I support Governor Abbott in his initiative to try to completely eradicate the property tax. That is something I really believe in. My husband and I, we pay taxes on 3 properties in the state of Texas. I would love to see the property tax completely go away. It can be done. It takes time. You didn't put a man on the moon in one night, so it's going to take some time, and I believe we can do it. And the final thing, I do support school vouchers. However, I am a product of public school. I went to Victoria High School. I have a son who is getting ready to graduate from Victoria East High School. So I want to see the public schools thrive, but at the same time, I believe we can find balance and we can allow those that want a choice to send their kids out to private schools and still utilize their tax dollars to do so. So those are really my top 3 priorities: secure the border, school vouchers, and to also make sure that we are working really hard to secure the border. And eradicate property taxes.
Since you mentioned you do have a son in school, how concerned are you about making sure schools are safe and secure?
Oh, absolutely. Our children today in the 21st century, they are facing threats that we really didn't have to face when I was in high school. They have to wonder whether or not there's going to be someone that comes in and conducts a mass shooting. So school safety is paramount. And I know the 88th legislature, I believe, did pass for some funding to secure our schools. And I also support the idea of allowing teachers who would like to carry. I support that as long as they're trained, they're responsible with their weapons. I believe we have just come to that point in our society, as unfortunate as that might be. But I'm willing to do that because I want to see our children kept safe while they're in school so they can focus on learning.
And we're going to have the 3rd anniversary coming up on Wednesday night of the polar plunge. How do you make sure ERCOT doesn't have any more outages when it's too cold or too hot?
Yes, Governor Abbott did a great job. I mean, we were very concerned when the weather took a drop in temperature not too long ago. And so the initiatives that they set forth in order to make sure we didn't run into an issue before are in place, and I would like to see more of that continue. So whatever those committees are that are out there making sure that they keep our Texans cool when it's hot and warm when it's cold, that's exactly what I would like to support and see continue.
Thank you so much for your time and your answers. Appreciate it. That
Absolutely.
was State Representative District 30 Republican candidate Vanessa Hicks Callaway. Karina, back to you.
Dawn, thank you. Tomorrow on 25 News Now at 5, we'll have District 30 Republican primary candidate A.J. Louderback live. And Wednesday, we'll have District 30 Republican candidate Brett Baldwin. And on Friday, we're going to have District 30 Republican candidate Jeff Bachnight live as well. The Republican primary winner will face Democrat Stephanie Basham in November election, and she is running unopposed in the Democratic primary election. We hope you'll join us then. 4 candidates are running in the Republican primary for Precinct 3. Victoria County Commissioner Marcus Salina is seeking office for the first time. Salinas is a Victoria native and owner of Flying S Services and maintenance tech for the Texas Department of Transportation. Salina says his main goals are to continue the legacy of good public service.
Budgets for the Sheriff's Department and road and bridge budgets need to be looked at and addressed. Any drainage issues, concerns with the county. Mr. Burns has done an excellent job over his past terms and stuff, and we need to continue that track record that he has.
Also running for the Precinct 3 seat is Shannon Martin, Brad Tucker, and James Soderholt. Early voting starts February 20th. Election day is Tuesday, March 5th. And now let's shift gears and take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. Mac, it got a little chilly today.
Yes, this morning. Of course, that north wind came in on Sunday, but what a spectacular Super Bowl Sunday. Lovely weather, but it's only going to last for 2 days because by the end of this week, we got some more clouds and stormy weather rolling in. We'll be talking all about that coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Mac, thank you. 2 people were injured in a shooting at Joel Osteen's megachurch in Houston. Police say a trans woman walked into the building with her 7-year-old son and a rifle. She allegedly started shooting until 2 off-duty law enforcement officers fired back. Some people inside thought the shots were initially fireworks or even instruments.
They started screaming, there's a shooter, there's a shooter.
Terrifying moments described by those who were inside celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, Sunday.
We went scared and then we went to the chairs to try to protect us.
My mom and me were so worried.
9-year-old Ethan Rodriguez hid in a bathroom with his dance class as gunshots rang out just ahead of the afternoon Spanish service.
2024.
Police say a woman in her 30s, armed with a weapon and accompanied by a 7-year-old child, opened fire just inside the entrance.
She had a long gun, and it could have been a lot worse. But they stepped up and they did their job.
They are 2 off-duty law enforcement officers who were working security at the church. The city's police chief says they shot and killed the suspect. The 7-year-old and a male bystander were injured by gunfire. Houston's police chief says they're still investigating who fired the bullets that hit them. A federal law enforcement source tells CNN the woman's gun, an AR-15, had the word Palestine written on it.
It's way too early to determine a motive for the shooter's actions.
Indications that mental health played a role in an early investigation.
Pastor Joel Osteen told reporters the outcome could have been much more tragic had the church not been between services. And for now, his focus is on moving his congregation forward.
We're going to keep going strong and just, doing what God's called us to do, lift people up and give hope to the world.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
In a statement, Joel Osteen said the community will rise above this tragedy and stand firm in its commitment to love and support one another. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has since offered full support and resources from the state to help the community and to bring justice. Now, authorities have identified the person who opened fire at Lakewood Sunday. She is 36-year-old Janice Yvonne Moreno, who had a criminal background and a known history of mental illness. Officials say Moreno had her 7-year-old son with her when she walked into the church and started shooting. Of course, as we now know, 2 off-duty law enforcement officers at the scene shot Moreno after she pointed her weapon at them. The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission identified Agent Adrian Herrera as the person who shot the suspect. The gunfire left her biological son in critical condition and 1 man injured. That's according to officials. It's unclear who fired the shot that injured the child, and police haven't shared details about a possible motive yet. This is going to bring bring us to your viewer poll this afternoon. The question is, what is the most pressing issue highlighted by the shooting at Joel Osteen's church? Is it mental health care, gun control and regulation, security measures at public events, or understanding motives behind such violence? Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. A Las Cruces police officer was killed Sunday afternoon. Patrol officer Jonah Hernandez from El Paso was stabbed at least once after responding to a trespassing call shortly before 5 p.m. Hernandez was taken to a hospital where he later died. The suspect was shot and killed by someone who witnessed at least part of the interaction. A witness used Hernandez police radio to call for help. The officer leaves behind a wife and 2 sons, ages 10 and 2. An effort to decriminalize possession of small amounts of marijuana in Lubbock is moving forward despite Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton suing 5 cities this week for doing that exact same thing. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. 2 hostages under Hamas now rescued. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, the moment when they were reunited with their loved ones, caught on camera this afternoon. Also ahead, we bring you an update from last week's shooting in Times Square. The suspect, just 15 years old.
A serious challenge prowls many streets across Victoria County. Roaming and stray animals pose a risk to the community, and finding their owners often impossible.
The animals that don't have a voice, that's what we're there for, to help.
So what's being done to ensure the safety of our streets and these lost or abandoned pets? Join me, reporter Lupi Zapata, for Safe Streets, Safe Pets, a 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Teenager suspected of opening fire in Times Square last week, now charged with attempted murder. Police say the 15-year-old, a Venezuelan migrant, shot a Brazilian tourist in the leg Thursday night before shooting at a police officer. He was charged Saturday as an adult with 2 counts of attempted murder. The teen also faces assault and weapons possession charges stemming from the shooting, which began in a sporting goods store and spilled out into the streets of Manhattan. 2 Hamas hostages rescued by the Israeli government reunited with their loved ones. 60-year-old Fernando Simon Marman and 70-year-old Luis Hare were being held in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The Israeli military says the 2 Israeli Argentinians were freed Monday under the cover of airstrikes. Gaza health officials say those strikes killed 37 people and wounded dozens more. The 2 men were kidnapped by Hamas on October 7th. Now, it's not a new danger, but despite efforts to raise awareness about the risks of TVs and furniture tipping over, thousands of children are still sent to the emergency room each year. And it's not the only youth, or rather, it's not only the youth who poses a risk to this.
It can happen in an instant. Curious children climbing on furniture, with dangerous consequences.
When you have something that does heavy falling on a child, it can result in death.
In a new report, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says nearly 18,000 people are hurt in tip-over incidents every year.
Children are impacted more than anybody else. So over the last 10 years, there have been over 200 deaths associated with tip-overs.
Of those deaths, the report says nearly half involved a television, and more than half of those involved children between 1 and 3 years old. But others are at risk too. The research shows more adults ages 60 and above are also being sent to the emergency room after furniture tipped over. All clothing storage furniture manufactured after September 1st, 2023 has to meet updated safety measures laid out by the CPSC. But no matter when your furniture was made, the agency says it should be anchored to the wall.
You go to the hardware store and for less than $20, you can go back and anchor it into the wall in about 20 minutes.
The website anchorit.gov has step-by-step instructions and videos on how to secure furniture to help prevent a tragedy. For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Beautiful day, right? Lots of sunshine, a little chilly with that north wind, but that's what cleared us up from all that cloudy, soupy stuff we had last week. Right about now, our temperature is at 62 degrees. Now, it's going to get rather cold tonight. As a matter of fact, let's see, this morning we were at 44. We're going to get down to about 42 tonight as that dry air continues filtering in, and our official high was 64. Now, next couple days, and I'm talking 2, are okay. By Friday, boy, things are going to be changing as we get a big chance at some rain. We'll be talking more about that coming up after this. Well, good afternoon. Tonight it's going to be a little on the chilly side for those of you that need to be outdoors, or once the sun goes down, we're going to lose it. We're getting down to about the low 40s. Of course, that dry north wind gets us clear skies, and all that heat is going to radiate up into there. So we're a far cry from last week when we had all that soupy weather, the temperatures that were in the records, almost records. Well, tomorrow we're going to get up only to the mid 60s because we do get abundant sunshine. That's for Tuesday. Wednesday, well, things start getting real interesting because our winds start shifting around. As you can see right about here, all of our north winds are out of the northwest right now, blowing not too bad, 15, 20 miles an hour. But that is what's going to give us the little bit of a chill if you're going out late tonight. Now, tomorrow, we start off with abundant sunshine, beautiful skies. Everything's looking good for Tuesday. Notice out here, we've got two things. First of all, kind of a leftover spin in the atmosphere. That's what brought us the front over the weekend. But this is going to be a huge problem, not for you and me, but for the East Coast, because it's going to go like that, and it'll become a nor'easter. I don't know if you've heard about those, but those are powerful storms that bring rain, wind, and snow to much of the eastern states. For us, high pressure is in control, and that's going to give us a couple of good days. And I say a couple. Why a couple? Let me tell you why. As that storm moves that way, High pressure comes in, gives us a good couple of days. But then you see right about here, we've got this frontal system coming down, and it's going to slam into a lot of moisture coming up from the south. So that's all going to be on Friday. And then high pressure builds in for the upcoming weekend. So it's all going to be a real quick rain front with all of that happening on Friday. So if you got plans in the long term, just think about Friday, because after that, the weekend does clear up. So for today, or rather for tonight and tomorrow, we're looking for sunny skies. Very lovely day over Port Lavaca, getting up to about 65. In Cuero, yep, sunny skies all day long, getting up to a 67. And as we mentioned, a couple of good days. Thursday, the clouds begin to develop, and then there's a light chance for a sprinkle or two. Right about now on Friday, we've got a 60% chance of rain before the front comes through. Then that clears us up for Saturday morning. But look at that, only 58 degrees for a couple of days. So a little bit of a chill. In fact, over the weekend, this coming weekend, we'll have some low 30, or rather mid 30s as low temperatures. So just enjoy the sunshine for tomorrow while we can. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thank you, Mac. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, chocolate prices surge, ironically, just in time for Valentine's Day. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 126 points, the S&P 500 up 5 points, and the Nasdaq up 48 points. Oil up 8 cents, closing at $76.92 a barrel. The Consumer Product Safety Commission issued a major recall involving a popular Electroflux. They are recalling more than 380,000 of its side-by-side refrigerators with slim ice buckets. This after their ice bucket assembly components can break, causing plastic pieces to enter the buckets, which can pose a potential choking hazard. The company says they've had at least 343 such incidents reported. Most of the recalled fridges were sold in the United States, and more information is available at the Consumer Product Safety Commission website. Cocoa prices are surging so high, even the biggest chocolate makers are struggling to stay profitable. West Africa is home to more than 60% of global cocoa production. Climate issues there are damaging crop yields, constraining cocoa supply, and causing prices to soar. Sugar, labor, and other factors have also gotten pricier. Hershey said Thursday it would cut 5% of its workforce after historic cocoa prices and inflation-weary consumers dampened fourth quarter earnings. Now stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast with Mac. Plus, it's Cheddar Day tomorrow. And here's a look at world news tonight right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up tonight, what could be the biggest snowstorm in 2 years in New York City and parts of the Northeast. A dangerous commute in the morning from D.C. to New York to Boston. Also breaking at this hour, a deadly shooting on the New York City subway right at rush hour. Multiple people shot. We're on the scene next.
The National Cheddar Day tomorrow, the key ingredient in the classic grilled cheese sandwich. Cheddar was first produced in the village of Cheddar in England in the 12th century. The more you know. Now, half of all UK cheese sales are cheddar, and in the US, a third of cheese sales are cheddar. You can mark the day by sharing your favorite recipes involving cheddar, host a wine and cheese party, or simply enjoy a grilled cheese sandwich with, tomato soup, dip it in.
Well, yeah, and there's a town named Tomato Soup, I'm sure, because there's a Cheddar town and there's also a Sandwich England. So cheddar sandwich.
But you know what's always good with soup and grilled cheese?
Oh, yeah.
When it's cozy and it's cold outside.
Nice.
Are we still going to have this little cold chili?
The nights are cold. The days are sunny and pretty. I mean, you're going to enjoy your Tuesday. It's just that evenings, if you're going to be out, you got to bundle up. But that cold, wintry stuff, that's when the cheese and the and the soup is good. We're looking for a very quick return of the cloud cover on Thursday. And so Friday, at this point in time, looks like a pretty washed out day. So just keep that in mind as we get closer to the weekend. We'll certainly clear it for you. Saturday morning, the front is blowing through And by Sunday, or certainly Saturday night and Sunday, similar to last weekend, where we had half a day bad and the rest of the weekend okay, because you know, I did clear it up for Super Bowl Sunday.
You did.
I hope you enjoyed that.
We thank you, Mac.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You weather
Happy to help.
wizard. All righty. Well, thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.